Craig, we are 7 games into the second phase. As you look back overall, how's it been going for you on a personal level in terms of the performances, the results and everything else?
Yeah, I think, you look at the first part of the season, we were, flying, and then we've had a couple of not so great results at the early part of the split, and obviously our first defeat and only defeat to date domestically, and then we had a couple of draws, and then obviously we've hit a bit of form lately again, and we're back at it a little bit. Scored 12 goals in the last 2 games, conceded 1, against Cardiff Met, who were flying before that, and it's always a tough place to go, Newtown. So yeah, it's the last 2 or 3 weeks we've done well. Clean sheet away at Connors Quay. So yeah, it's I think we had a little bit of a stale patch. I don't know whether it's because we're that far ahead. We probably hit a bit of a dip in form, but then I think we're back at it at this moment in time.
And going back even further, your first season back with the New Saints, have you been happy overall with how it's been going?
Yeah, I can't really, complain. Obviously, I'd like to be in a position where I think from within like 8-10 weeks and start season, we thought we could possibly go all season without getting beaten. Obviously, we've been beat once to date. We would have liked to go through in the League Cup, the Nathaniel Cup, because obviously previously having 2 trebles, on my CV when I was here previously, it was the standards I set for myself and for the football club. Obviously, they didn't happen, but I think overall, I think we've moved forward. I think we're a better football team now, and we control games a little bit better than what we have done, and control possession a little bit better, in scored goals, lots of goals. We broke the 100 record on Saturday away at Newtown to 101, equaling the previous record of 101 with the 16-17 season team. So now we've got 3 domestic games left to try and go and break that record. So I think overall we've got to be happy, but I still think we could be better.
And back to the present, it's Penybont away, of course, on Saturday. We talk about every game being a tough one, but this, as the results, the performances have indicated, it most certainly will be.
Yeah, it will be. That was a tough place to go. It's a tough place for everyone to go. They're well organised. They've got some very good players. They've got good experience in the team. And obviously had a little bit of adversity with what's going on with the looming of the 6 points deduction. But it seems like they've obviously put that to one side and cracked on, and they still seem to be in a strong position to finish 3rd place. With or without the points deduction, and possibly, if everything went well for us in the cup final and beat Bala in the cup final, 3rd place could be an opportunity for automatic European football this season. But yeah, there's still 3 games left. I'd imagine Cardiff Met, Bala. I think probably Newtown are out of it by now, but Cardiff Met and Bala will want a say in that. If they go and win all their 3 games, Cardiff Met, then it puts them in a strong position. So yeah, it's been really interesting. It's a that battle for the 3rd and 4th place and 5th place at the top half of the league, and you see the excitement at the bottom half of the league. I was in it last year with Connors Quay. We were 2nd at the split, and then we end up being 18 points deducted, and I think it was 8 points adrift in 2nd place with 10 games to go, and we managed to comfortably stay up in the end. But it's not a nice place. It's a place where I wouldn't want to be on a regular occasion, and without the experience I had in football as a manager, etc. It's something that it's a daunting place to be.
We've spoken a lot about the 100 goals scored from your first spell with the club, and we're now there ready to surpass that. But one thing we haven't mentioned is the goals conceded. First time round, 26 goals in that season, 2016-17. Just 14 this time round though. That's an impressive statistic.
Very much so. It probably gets overlooked a little bit because of our attacking play and our attacking style and how we go and score lots of goals. But yeah, from the front to the back, I think it's very important that we defend as a unit, that we work hard to press the ball. We play at a high tempo, but the back 4, back 5, back 6 almost, a lot of time we play with one midfielder down, whether that's regular being John Routledge or whether that's been Dan Williams, and then the back 4 of all the defenders have played some part, you know, and then obviously Connor and goal, you know, done really well. We've been really good defensively this year as well, and I think it's a great combination to have score lots of goals and don't concede many. And yeah, I think it's 18 clean sheets we've had domestically this season, which is a fantastic record for Connor, and he deserves it because he works hard and he's a very good goalkeeper.
And as you assess the opponents on Saturday, do you identify key players, and if so, how do you intend to negate their influence on the game?
I think we don't get so wrapped up in the opposition's players. You know, we've got healthy respect for everyone, like, you know, do our due diligence, we watch games back, we watch games live, you know, we look at set plays, etc. I think, but it's really important in our position that we've got a game plan how we want to execute and attack the game. Obviously, yes, we've obviously defensively done really well with only conceding 14 goals and keeping lots of clean sheets, but the mainstay of this team and this football club, really the DNA, is the attacking side to it, and that's where we concentrate awful lot of our training in organisation and how can we get better from an attacking point of view. Not, you know, in I'd say that's the high percentage of going into it, so we maybe concentrate on ourselves a lot more than the opposition.
Not just Newtown, of course, but the previous game, some excellent performances, players coming off the bench, not only contributing to the performance, but also scoring goals as well. Players coming back from injury. How difficult will it be to go for the starting 11 on Saturday?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult from here on in, I'd imagine, because today Ben Clark was back in full training. Leo Smith had a week where he was just a bit of accumulative fatigue from the heavy pitch at Connah's Quay, then the heavy pitch at Altrincham for Wales C. So Leo's back in the frame, you know, and then that literally leaves, you know, I think it's Adam Wilson. I think he's the only one left. So, and Adam was on the pitch doing some running today, so he's going to be in amongst it in the next week or 10 days. So it's really going to test me, and it's going to test the other players. You know, people breathing down their throats. Competition's key. Has been a huge key to I feel the success of my time here in the football club. That I think high pressure and competitive for places. So that's where we want to be. That's where I want to be. I'd prefer that than I think there's a couple of times over the season where we're a little bit threadbare. You know. But the depth of the squad and the younger players have stepped up and really made their influence count, and they have done. I think everyone's played a huge contribution this season so far. But yeah, it's going to be a headache. I know that it's going to be. It's probably the hardest part of doing your job, telling players that aren't playing, and telling people they're substitute, or it'll get to the point again this season where telling people they're not even on the match day squad. So yeah, it's not something I'm looking forward to, but it's part and parcel of the job.